Dear friends, today we continue our discussion about the calamities. And in this second video, I would like to discuss how to respond to a calamity. In the previous video, we actually explained that the calamities just happen in this world because this is the nature of this world. It is full of calamities. Of course, this does not mean that we have nothing to do with it, because of course, there is karma and there is our own action, which produces the bad reaction. But apart from that, the very nature of this material world is that it is full of calamities. So now, what to do if calamities strikes? So in order to discuss this point, we have to focus on the topic of protection. Because when calamity strikes, we need protection. We need to be protected. And I would like to share with you one text from Srimad Bhagavatam as it is, Canto 1, Chapter 8, text number 37. And this is the verse that was spoken by Queen Kunti, the amazing personality in ancient times of India. So she said, "Oh my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. Are you leaving us today? Though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us now when all kings are at enmity with us." So we can see in this text, Shrimati Kunti Devi was calling out to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, and she was asking for his help. And I would like to tell very briefly the story of Queen Kunti. Queen Kunti was such an amazing personality. She was one of the most beautiful princesses of her time, and she got married with Pandu, equally amazing prince from Hastinapur. But they did not have an easy time because Pandu had to go into the forest and he spent there many years. And he also could not have his own children. But Queen Kunti actually arranged for children through the use of a mystical mantra, through which she called different demigods, which are personalities from higher realms, and they became the fathers of her sons. But Pandu, her husband, he died early. And the children were still small when Kunti Devi returned back to the palace in Hastinapur. But they were not accepted wholeheartedly there because there was conspiracy from the very beginning on. Namely, Dhritarashtra, the king, which was protecting the throne until the eldest son of Kunti, Yudhishthir, grows up, had his own ambitions, and he actually wanted his own son Duryodhana to take the charge of the kingdom and to get the throne. So there were so many attempts to kill them. At one point, they were sent to a palace, like a summer palace, which was made of shellac, which was made of easily flammable materials. And the plot was to burn them all together, Kunti and all of 5 sons, the Pandavas. However, they were saved. And then they were traveling around and hiding for some time. And the man-eater demons were trying to attack them, but they were also protected. So many things have happened, but each time they were protected. And at the very end, when they finally came back, and when Yudhishthir was really supposed to get at least some of the kingdom, the tensions became so strong between the opposing party of Duryodhana and his allies and Yudhishthir, that there was no other solution but the war, a huge war at Kurukshetra, which is also known from Mahabharata. And in this war, there is another very, very intricate detail. What happened? Before the war started, both Arjuna, one of the most important warriors on Yudhishthira's side, and Duryodhana himself went to Sri Krishna, both trying to get his help, to get him on their side for the successful outcome of the battle. And Krishna, he asked, what do you want? You can either choose me unarmed, and I will not fight, but I can be on your side, or you can choose my army. And Krishna's army was known as Narayani Sena, Narayani's army, and it had 100 million warriors. It was the most formidable army ever existing. And of course, everybody thought that this army is on his side, then that person has to be victorious. So Duryodhana, he got the army. He wanted to have the army. And Arjuna, who had the first choice, he just chose Krishna. And Duryodhana was laughing and he was so happy. Hi, I got this army. I'm going to be victorious. But what happened at the end? He was not victorious. He miserably failed. They were defeated. They were all killed in this terrible battle. But Arjuna, his brothers, Yudhishthir, they emerged victorious. And now I would like to explain what is actually the message from this story for us that is so practical and so important for every one of us in the face of even the greatest calamity. When we live in this world, we have this independent mentality, trying to fend for ourselves, depending on our own strength and intelligence, our own resources, depending on the advancement of technology, and actually trying to exploit and rule over the material nature. This is our behavior. But the laws of the nature are different. The laws of the nature are such that as we are trying to exploit material nature brings about her own consequences in the form of different calamities. And when we try to take shelter, when we try to get protection in the face of a calamity, our own real option, the only option that we really have, is to take full shelter and to become fully dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the only real protection. Just like in that story that I just told, Arjuna just wanted Krishna himself, because wherever there is Krishna, there is victory. There is complete shelter. And not only that, but in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the commentary of this verse that I was reading, it is also said that a person who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord, who depends on his mercy, who depends on his protection, such a person is called Sanata. What does this mean? Sanata means a person who has a protector, who has a guardian, who has real protection. Such a person is protected, and such a person will come out of the calamity protected. On the other hand, a person who just depends on his own strength, independently, on his own technological resources, such a person is called Anata. And Anata means a person who is without a protector, who is not protected, who does not have a guardian. Such a person is doomed. For sure, such a person will meet with defeat and he will not have protection. So therefore, my request to everyone who is listening to this class is, please become Sanata. Please become a person who has a protector, who has a guardian. And you will be protected even in the face of the greatest calamities. Guaranteed.